dangerous? We can't just go invade a country because they're doing something that we think is immoral.
I know. I just think I should be doing something about the rainforest.
Eli Roth is a guy who's not only into horror, but he's into just showing you everything. The guy loves blood and guts, man. I mean, blood and guts, that's kind of his playground.
He's your boy.
I like some of the things that he does with horror because he doesn't just try to do horror. I mean, yeah, sure, he does a lot of blood, guts, and gory stuff, but he also tries to put somewhat of a message in his movies.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. He does. For example,
like, where's my pancakes?
Well, you know, you talk about Cabin Fever, but Cabin Fever was something he wanted to do. He said, I want to make a slasher movie without having a slasher in there. So we bring these kids out to a cabin, they die, and there's this infection that's going around. It was a movie where it was, what was it? It was like what was killing the kids? It was like a flesh-eating bacteria, a flesh-eating disease. Yeah. And then with Hostel, he wanted to talk about how America goes over and they exploit people in Eastern Europe and, you know, how obnoxious we are. And so I admire him, Martin, for trying to put some commentary, you know, make some blood and gore for the thinking man out there.
Sure.
And, you know, he has not really changed. I hear your sarcasm, Martin, but I will ignore it because with this movie, he's trying to do the same thing.
Nice to see he's progressed.
Well, hold on, because you haven't heard my review of the movie yet. Now, maybe I love it, maybe I don't, because while I like Eli Roth, I didn't really care for Hostel 2. I don't really like everything he does. So let's see how I approach this film right here. And as I said, it is somewhat of a message movie. With this, he's trying to make a message about these activists, these online activist communities that we have, where people, they just want to take up something just to feel important for their egos.
Right.
And some people do it with a hashtag, but some people, they go a little bit beyond. They actually get off their ass and they go out and they're actively trying to fight for what they believe in. I
can admire those people.
Yeah, such as right here, you get a group of kids. They're going over to the Amazon to try to save the forest, the rainforest, from being chopped down. And they do the typical thing. They go out there and they tie themselves to trees. They put their lives at risk, but they have social media on their side where they can actually film what they're doing at the time. But everything goes wrong, Martin, when they get over there and they find themselves abandoned after a plane crash. And they think they're going to be rescued. Oh, people are coming to get us. And if it was anybody else, Martin, it might be good. But the people in this case happen to be people who eat people. Cannibals. Oh, now you're interested. Now I got you.
I got to admit it.
Now I got you. I piqued your curiosity right here. So, as you can, look, it's an Eli Roth movie, so you know they ain't going to be caught by any cannibals and nobody's going to get eaten. So you know there's some blood and guts going on there.
Sure.
So does that get in the way of the message of the movie? Does it all go hand in hand? I mean, do we actually really have some horror movie, some blood and gory horror movie for the thinking man? A movie with smarts? Well, I would say at the beginning of the movie, I know a lot of people probably don't. They say sometimes, like with Hostel, the beginning of Eli Roth's movies are kind of slow because a lot of his audience, man, they're like guys who watch porn. You know, they're like watching porn with too much story. Like, hey, get to the fucking. You know, I want to hear them get to the blood. I want to hear them get to the guts. And I actually like the way the movie set itself up. And I was doing a little research on the film when I was talking about it, and I like how he's approaching this by saying, yeah, you know, I want to put certain scenes in the movie, like these guys, they're out there fighting the rainforest, and they're about to get killed. And they're like, fuck the rainforest, man. I don't give a fuck about the rainforest anymore. I'm not going to die for a tree.
Oh, that's what they're saying?
Well,
on their way there?
No, once they go out and they do it, and they try to tie themselves to a tree, and they try to spout off all that self-righteous shit, when a gun gets put to their head and they almost catch a bullet, then that's when they're like, you know what, fuck this.
Okay.
Cut all this motherfucking down for all I care. Change this into New York for all I give a fuck. But fuck a tree. But the thing, words to live by. Make that bumper sticker. Fuck a tree. But they're on the plane and they're heading back, and then all of a sudden they look at their phone like, oh shit, we're trending, and then that's when they're like, oh, we won. Yeah. They only care when they're trending on social media that it feeds their egos.
They're shitty people.
I won't really say they're shitty people, but they're just like all these other people out there who they pick up a cause and they don't even realize that they're doing it just to make themselves feel important.
Yeah.
Now, granted, these guys, like I said, they you know, they're better than you and me. They get off their ass and they go out there and do something.
They did more than we've done.
Yo, hell yeah, I ain't going out there in the rainforest at all. You know, I'll give you a like on Facebook or something. That's about as far as it'll go.
Or at least we're honest with ourselves about what we're willing to do.
Yeah. And you know, yeah, I'm telling you right now, I'm all for the rainforest. Just take care of it for me. That's all. I'll be your cheerleader. Rah, rah, rah. Yeah, save a tree. Now, with this,
I give you a like.
it's the least I can do. Or the most I can do. That's all I can do.
That's all I'm doing.
That's all I'm going to do. Let's just say that. So if you can just sit through that, all those people out there, you want to get into the violence, just give it a little time, because once it hits, it hits. They have a plane crash. There's a malfunction.
I know. It looked like Lost with that plane crash.
Oh, fuck, yeah. I mean, it's
people flying out the back.
Oh, man. Once the plane starts to crash, right, I mean, he takes out about 6, 7 people in this plane crash in bloody, horrible ways. And once that starts, it doesn't let up. A little bit of extra fluid in there if the blood's not good enough for you. You got the guy vomiting all over himself.
In his own eye.
In his own eye. Yeah, that shit. That shit sure did. You. See,
Oh, damn.
Man, like I told you, you know, if you just wait, you'll get it. I mean, like this dude right here, I like how he saw that shit coming. Like, oh, shit. Turn that motherfucker into a Muppet.
Damn.
Yeah, man. If you just wait, he doesn't wait. You know, once it starts, he keeps it going. And you know, this poor guy right here with the vomit, you know he didn't know he was going to do that shit.
Right.
You know, you know that was an accident right there. Doing that fucking exorcist shit. What's that shit called?
Green pea soup.
Green pea, split pea soup and shit. Yeah. He's like, fuck this, man. But once that happens, oh, and I got to ask you something, man. You know, I notice now movies, whenever they have a plane crash, don't ever sit in the back of the plane.
No.
Don't ever.
No.
Because
out.
If you haven't learned, because I've seen a lot of movies with plane crashes, and the person, that poor asshole in the back is always yanked out that shit.
It's still in the seat.
Yeah. You know, you can't even unbuckle yourself and shit.
It's almost like the air said, we don't want you, but we want that chair.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean, if you have a choice, I mean, if it's got to be the front or the back, go for the front. I mean, at least that shit is over. At least it's over quick. Now, once they get into the village, and once the gore starts to kick in, if you want gore, that's fine. That's what you're going to get. It's at this point that what could have been a really smart movie,
yeah,
or at least a movie that has a message without being too heavy-handed, because I mean, let's admit it. These self-righteous people. We want to see them get killed anyway.
Sure.
So this could have been that movie with a good message while also entertaining all the people out there who love horror. But Eli Roth, he loves to, when he gets into horror, he just loves to play with the shit. He's giddy with it.
Right.
I mean, that's like I said, he must be playing with a fucking Play-Doh set or something.
Right.
That's what he loves to do. So when he starts to do that, he gets very silly with his with his horror, his violence. I mean, it's at this point where it's almost too much. I mean, not too much in that it's shocking. It is for a few seconds, but the more gratuitous it becomes, the more you're over it, and you're just kind of like, yeah, this is not really horrifying anymore.
So it's not like Peter Jackson or Sam Raimi, where it's funny, like, because it's so over the top.
Well, you know what? I'll let you take a look.
Okay.
Because they were fortunate enough to put a few clips out there where they actually show you some of the horror and the gore that goes on. And of course, tell you what, if you crash land in the rainforest and you happen to be in the middle of a cannibalistic tribe, you do not want to be the fat fuck on the plane.
I would say in most situations, I don't want to be the fat fuck on the plane.
But you really don't want to be the fat fuck. Like that whole thing of taking up 2 seats, I got nothing on when people just want to eat you. Of course, he's the one that looks closest to a black dude.
Oh,
so
he's not?
No, he's not. No,
Okay.
he's like that Afro-Cuban or something.
Okay.
Thank you.
You drink it all.
He thinks he's about to get a massage and shit.
I love these Brazilian women. They're gonna fuck me. What? What kind of carnival is this?
She ate that shit like oysters or something, you know? I don't even know. Like, it's so gory that they got parts in here where they pulling out of people, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I didn't even know I had that in my body. You know, this dude.
And he's sitting there going, oh!
Yeah, and this dude right here, he caught a bad one. I mean, they mutilate that motherfucker. And the thing is, they just so Eli Roth can show you how horrifying it is. They saved the head for last.
Oh.
It's like, y'all could have cut his head off first
Right.
and done what you wanted to do, but they cut all his limbs off. They dig into his fucking
Really? They cut his limbs off?
Oh man, it's bad. And the way and you hear how I'm describing this?
Yeah.
It's you're thinking like, wow, man, that sounds horrible. You mean to cut the guy's legs off, his arms off, they're pulling out his tongue and everything. And if this guy might have been a better actor, or if it wasn't so gratuitous to the point of just being exploitive and silly, then maybe it would have been more effective. But as you watch it, it's kind of like, all right, man, you laid the guy out, you set this up, like you're making him like he's the dude on the operation game and shit, you know. Like I was expecting him to like go into a party like, you know, his fucking nose lights up and everything. You took my wishbone and my Charlie horse, but yeah, it's it just gets to a point where it's just kind of silly, and I that's where I get frustrated with Eli Roth's movies. Once he gets down to putting in all of the violence, he has so much fun with it that he kind of turns some of his films that are a little more serious into comedies. I mean, this turns into a straight up comedy where it was not before.
Yeah.
And it should have been kind of the other way around, really. Like when there was no blood and guts, maybe it should have been funny when these kids were hanging out.
Right.
And all of us, oh fuck, it just got horrifying and real. But once the blood starts coming out, he starts putting in all these little visual gags.
Like what?
He puts in shit jokes, people shitting on the floor in the cage at the end. There's a really, really awkward joke about weed here and
Okay.
getting high and people getting the munchies.
Okay.
It shifts tone. Sometimes it's a cannibal movie, sometimes it's a zombie movie. It's like somebody. It's like somebody that's at the scene of a horrible car accident, and they get in front of everybody and say, "Hey, I got a joke." You know, it's like, and everybody's looking like, "Really, man? Right now? That couldn't wait." I'll tell you, man. It's a movie where the story behind it is a little more interesting than some of the messages or the horror that you see in the movie, because he talks about how this is a Peruvian farming tribe of about 300 people, and they ain't never seen a movie. They don't even know what the fuck a movie is. So they went out there and showed them a film and said, all right, this is what we are going to, this is the kind of movie that we're going to make, just to prep you for the tone. And they saw this shit, and since they knew it was fake, they were laughing at it like, oh, this is a comedy. Oh. You know, all these people getting torn apart, they're like, oh, that's just makeup, and that's not real. These are actors. They saw the whole thing as a comedy. So when they were signed up for it, they were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make a funny movie.
Oh, so you see them laughing? And
so throughout the movie, sometimes it's a distraction, but you see them having a good time. Like they're out there. This is the most fun that they ever had. They're getting paid. They're going to be in this wonderful invention called a movie that they never heard of before.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating to see that he did go. I'll give him credit for this. Talked about how he wanted to do some stuff, the style of filmmaking that you don't see anymore. You know, go out there guerrilla style, like Apocalypse Now, and the people who actually did Cannibal Holocaust. You know, go out there and kill some real animals and shit, which he did not do. He actually worked with Peter before, but he said, I want to go out there and shoot with real people. And you when you watch this, it does feel authentic. I mean, they got them they got them dressed up to look like, you know, more tribal than what they really are. But it is kind of fascinating to see them go out there and shoot with these people. And for that, I'd say, yeah, it's worth the watch, but not for. I'm gonna go pay full price a matinee to see these dirty ass people out there running around. And you know, if the movie had been, maybe if he had some better actors, a lot of these people you really haven't seen before, you don't know them, you don't know their names. That works great for most of the time in a horror movie or any kind of movie where you're supposed to suspend your disbelief.
Sure.
But right here, some of them are good, some of them are not. I mean, even when some of them are screaming, ah! Ah! You know, they take that breath, you know, and they can't really keep it like, ah! Like, okay, man.
Wait. Time out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, ready.
Actually, yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. So, you know, it's almost like being in a haunted house or something, you know, having a prop, an actual human prop right there. It's a movie where it really does drop the ball in that you had something going, you had a serious movie, you couldn't get to the part that you really love, and that is being really enthusiastic and kind of silly about the gore. You're like a kid in a fucking blood shop. I mean, you know, you're going crazy with it to the point you have no restraint, and it's so much fun you're having that you turn your movie inadvertently into something that should not be funny, even if you do laugh at some parts. So for that, I'm going to give it a rental because it is an interesting movie to watch in certain parts.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what this is? You know what they're doing to us?